Since joining the NHL, Matt Tkachuk has been one of the league's best players, but it went to a whole nother level this year when he joined the Florida Panthers and carried them all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, where eventually he did fracture his sternum, so was unable to play in the final game. But nonetheless, the 8th seed going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals is something to celebrate. So Matt Tkachuk dominates the NHL with his second consecutive 100-point season. But what would happen if we threw him in the AHL? Would he dominate the same way? We did this challenge with Connor McDavid a couple weeks ago, and McDavid was unable to win the AHL championship, but can Matt Tkachuk do it? So let's throw Matt Tkachuk in the AHL and see what type of damage the superstar can do in the AHL. Here's the twist of the challenge. Anytime Matt Tkachuk either wins the scoring title or the championship, we get to spin this wheel and add 10 attributes to his player build, or even potentially add another NHL player. Although, if he loses, the wheel will be opposite and it'll be -10 to a category. So we'll see how that affects him in this challenge. Tkachuk has been demoted to the Charlotte Checkers, the AHL team of the Florida Panthers, to go ahead and win a championship. So I downloaded a roster update, and this is the roster they had for Matt Tkachuk. So 93 overall, medium franchise potential, superstar X Factor with 3 different X Factors, 1 zone ability, 3 superstar abilities. So it's tricky. And then we have the big rig, big tipper, and total eclipse. Looking at his stats here, he is a power forward, drafted first round, 6th overall, of course, by the Calgary Flames, but 5 stars everywhere except for his skating categories. So I expect him to be an absolute beast. His shooting category is pretty damn good as well. So I think Connor McDavid scored 90 goals in one season. So can we have Matt Tkachuk beat that? But better yet, we want Matt Tkachuk to win a championship for the Checkers. So let's see what he can do. In his first year in the AHL, Tkachuk is going to be playing with Mr. Eric Staal and Denisenko. So not a really bad first line for the team. As expected, in his first year in the AHL, Tkachuk absolutely dominates with 100 points in 72 games, which was good for 57 goals, 49 penalty minutes, plus 37, 25 power play points. Let's see. I want to see how many. Okay, yeah, so only 37 giveaways, 67 takeaways, 1 fight only. No one really wanted to challenge the big beast, Matt Tkachuk, in any fights, but he did lead his team to playoffs as they went 44, 23, and 5. And in the first round, we got the Checkers versus the Bruins AHL squad. So let's slow sim all of these games. We'll go pretty quickly through them. Game number 1, we do have home ice advantage 3-1 after the first period. Gillies, oh, they got Jonathan Quick in the net. How about that? Second period, 5-1. Tkachuk scores his first in the playoffs. Third period, make it 6-1 as Riley Nash adds another goal. So that's a big game number 1 as Riley Nash leads the way with a 3-point night. Moving on to game number 2 to take a 2-0 series lead over, I think they're called the Bruins in the AHL as well. I'm not too sure. First period, 1-0. Eric Staal on Jonathan Quick. Wow, 10 years ago, this would have been one of the best players versus one of the best goalies. Second period, 2-0. Third period, 3-0. So Matt Tkachuk hasn't really done too much, but they're up 2-0, so you can't really complain there. Lucas Carlson leading the way with 4 assists in 2 games, 4 points. Love to see that. Game number 3 to take a stranglehold 3-0 series lead. First period, down 2-0 as Veritari, I don't know how to pronounce his name, scores 2. Second period, 3-0, but then we get 2 goals thanks to Eric Staal and Hudsko. So what's going on? Tkachuk, we need you here, buddy. Tkachuk, another game with no points, eh? 3 stars. Let's go take a look at the box score. I want to see how Tkachuk's playing. Tkachuk, okay, he had 2 assists. Okay, so he's not as bad as we thought. But 2-1 series lead now. Going to game number 4 to take a 3-1 series lead. The Bruins did have a better regular season than us, I believe. Oh, no, we had 44. They had 41. First period, 2-1 is Delpy, and Eric Staal has been on a mission. Second period, Riley Nash once again, and third period, we win that game as we win 3-2, 3-1 series lead now, and we can close it out on home ice here. So let's get it done in. Oh, there you go, Matt Tkachuk leading the way now. 1 goal, 5 assists, and 6 points in 4 games. That was terrible English, but it works. First period, down 1-0. Second period, 2-2. Denisenko scores his first. This Veritari guy, he keeps scoring. Third period, we fall. That's fine. That is fine here. We are going to game number 6 where we're on the road versus the Bruins. Can we end the series here, or are we going to a game 7? First period, we got Mayhew. This is a time where Tkachuk, it would be nice for you to score a goal And we got Denisenko and Eric Stahl once again. Third period and make it 5-2. Tkachuk finally gets one, but Eric Stahl was an absolute beast in this series. 2 goals, 2 assists in that game. Tkachuk had another 2 points where he did end up leading the team with 11 points in 6 games, but Eric Stahl was a beast. In round 2, we got the Hershey Bears, the Washington Capitals AHL squad. They did have a better year than us, as they had 46 wins. We had 44. First period, down 1-0. Second period, still 1-0. And third period, that's a 3-0 loss right there. So this is definitely a little bit of a tougher team than the Bruins were, unfortunately. So we need Tkachuk to really step up here. And Eric Stahl, since he's been the backbone of this team as well. First period, 4-2. Riley Nash, he's been good. Denisenko, Carlson, and Dalpe. They get 2 goals from Pilon. Second period, make that 6-3 now as Gilly scores and Sorella. They get 1 from Connor McMichael. Third period, we put it away. Eric Stahl gets on the board. And the 3 stars, Eric Stahl, another 3 points. He's probably our lead scorer now. There it is. Eric Stahl, 13 points in 8 games, 6 goals, 7 assists. That's not bad for Eric Stahl. 1-1 series, so we did steal a game from them on the road. So now we go back to home ice. First period, Sorella. Second period, 1-0. Can we hold on here? And 3-0. Sorella scores his second, and Betitio scores in the empty net. But a 2-1 series lead. Big game there with the shutout. Let's go into game number 4 now. First period, up down 2-1. Second period, that's a big period there. Denisenko, Kurtsev, Mayhew. I need to see a Matt Tkachuk goal here. He only has 2. I think if I'm reading this correctly, I think he only has 2 goals. I know he has 13 assists, but Tkachuk, 2 goals in 10 games in the AHL. Let's go. You scored 50 in the regular season in 70 games. But we have a 2-1 series lead, so we're looking good. I think it's 3-1. Or 2-1, who knows. First period, 1-1. Tkachuk, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. Second period, Tkachuk scores his second, and we're up 5-2. And that's the way this one's going to end as we take that game 5-2. Tkachuk scores 2 goals, and we are off to the 3rd round. In round 3 versus the Syracuse Crunch, we are down 3-1 in the series. It's not looking good here, but we can bounce back and win 3 straight. Syracuse was only 38-27-7, so let's see if the boys can bounce back here. Down 3-1 in the series with a shot to go to the finals. Does Matt Tkachuk have what it takes to come back? First period, make that 2-1 for the Checkers as Denisenko and Gilding get in on the scoring. Second period, Denisenko scores his second of the game. And third period, that's a huge win. Mayhew scores to capitalize on game number 5 as we go to game number 6. Now it's just down 3-2 in the series. It is totally possible here. Simulate game. Come on, Checkers. We're on the road here. First period, 1-0. Denisenko again. He's been good for us. Second period, still 1-0. Third period, 3-0. Tkachuk scores the empty net. Morrison gets the game ensuring goal. And we are going to game number 7 as Tkachuk was down 3-1 in the series, but now we're on home ice versus the Crunch in game 7. Tkachuk 6 goals in 17 games. Give us a big game here. First period, 1-1, and there it is. Tkachuk scores the first goal for the Checkers. Second period, oh, that's not good at all. Brent Seabrook. Okay, we need 2 goals. Power play, unable to capitalize. The Crunch still up 4-2. Third period, but Riley Nash gets a goal to make it 4-3. 10 minutes left in the game. Does anyone on the Checkers have a little bit of clutch in them? Power play, unable to capitalize. 3-2, and we take a penalty. Come on, last second heroics. We cannot do it. The game is 4-3. This series is 4-3, and Tkachuk ends up losing in his first go around in this challenge. 7 goals, 17 assists in 24 games. But let's take a look at the player stats. As I mentioned, if he was the leading scorer, we will not demote him. But since he lost, technically he would lose 10 points. But if he was the leading scorer, it would scratch that out. We'd keep him at the same overall. And he definitely was the leading scorer. But going into next year, I'm taking off the leading scorer. If he does not win the championship, he is losing 10 points. Let's get into the second go at this. I forgot to mention, every year Tkachuk is going to be changing AHL squads when he loses. So Tkachuk is now in the Utica Comets, which is the New Jersey Devils farm team, and he'll be playing with Eric Holla and Alexander Holt. So honestly, a little bit of an upgrade. I just chose a random team, and this is what he gets. So Eric Holla, Holtz, and Tkachuk going to be the best first line in the AHL this year. Let's see how he plays with the Comets. In Tkachuk's second year around in the AHL, he doesn't have as good as a point producing season, but the Utica Comets go 52, 17, and 3 as they completely dominate, where Tkachuk scores 47 goals, 48 helpers, 95 points, plus 36, 79 penalty minutes. How many fights did he have this year? Fights. Oh, 2 fights. So one extra person decided to drop the middies with Matt Tkachuk here. And in round number 1, he will be taking on the Laval Rocket, which is the team of the Montreal Canadiens, I believe. So let's see how this goes down. So far in round number 1, Tkachuk is up 3-0. So let's simulate this final game and see if he can complete this sweep in round number 1. 1-0 Rocket. Second period, 2-1. Third period, Tkachuk ties it up with 50 seconds left, and overtime, there it is. Eric Holla ends the game, and we sweep the Laval Rocket in round number 1. Almost said game 1, but close. Second round, who do we got? In the second round, we got Toronto, who won in game number 7, but we're keeping our undefeated streak alive. Just kidding. 2-1 for the Comets. Game number 4, make that 3-1, and can we close it out? I believe we are on home ice here, and we are first period 2-0. Holtz and Halonen. Second period 2-0 still. Third period, they score 1 as Jordy Ben gets one past Jonathan Bernier, our goaltender. But we take that series 4-1 as we eliminate the Toronto Marlies. And we are off back to the third round for Tkachuk. The third round has an exciting matchup. It's Tkachuk's former team, the Checkers, versus the Comets. So can Tkachuk take out his former squad? And right now, down 2-1 in the series. Every game's been close. 2 overtime losses. Game number 4. This is a huge game, and we lose 2-1. So Tkachuk needs to rally off 3 straight games, just like last year. He was down 3-1. Can he do it, or is his former team gonna take him down? First period, 1-0. Nemec scores. Second period, still 1-0. Third period, 3-0 win. Nemec scores 2 huge goals in game number 5. As we move to game number 6, where we will be on the road this time. Come on, game number 6. Don't choke like this, Tkachuk. Don't let your former team take you out. First period, 1-0 for the bad guys, the Checkers. Second period, 2-0 as they score a shorthanded goal. We need a massive third period here. Tkachuk scores 1 3 minutes in, but we fall to his former squad, the Checkers. And we got to quickly simulate just to see if they do end up winning the whole thing. I hope they don't, because that'd be really bad for Tkachuk. But they don't. The Canucks win it. So, another fail. Stanley Cup champions, the Ottawa Senators. Love to see that as a Sens fan. So that means for the first time in this video, we're going to the wheel. And what is Matt Tkachuk going to lose here? And he is going to take a -10 to his physical skills. And honestly, that's not that bad. You look at Tkachuk's physical stats, they are terrible now. He is a 3-star physical player, as we docked a lot of points. In his third year in the AHL, we're now sending Matt Tkachuk back to his Calgary Flames, where he's going to play in the AHL there. I also gave him 2 more X Factors, just because he definitely should have full 5 X Factors rather than 3. I did take away a lot of his stats, though, so we'll see how he's going to perform in year number 3. He's going to be playing with Connor Zary, a good young prospect, and Matt Coronado, who is another good young prospect. So, the vet with the prospects, let's see how it goes. Tkachuk has a monster year, 77 goals in 72 games, 112 points, 91 points for Coronado, who had 72 assists. So that's what you need on this line. You need someone who's going to shoot a lot, which is Tkachuk, and someone who's going to pass a lot, which is Coronado. Nice to see as Calgary Wranglers looking to win a championship. All right, Tkachuk, back in the third round for the 3rd straight year. Can he finally get it done as he's playing the Manitoba Moose? I think is that Winnipeg? I don't remember who it is. Let's go and simulate here. 7-3, 8-5. Okay, 2-1 series, not too bad. 2-1 series. Game number 4 here. If we win this, a 3-1 series lead. Going back 2-2 here. No, we're not going to slow sim. We haven't done it yet. I'm going to quick sim. There we go. 6-2. And game number 6, we can put it out here. And 3-2 over. Oh, here we go. The Springfield Thunderbirds. The Springfield Thunderbirds. At first, I thought it was a Syracuse Crunch. I'm okay with this. Both teams 12-6. Calder Cup playoffs finals. Could Tkachuk finally get the job done? Let's simulate a couple games here. Up 2-0 in the series as we win both games on the road. Game number 3, 3-0 series lead. Slow simulation. Tkachuk, you have 4 chances to get what Connor McDavid could not do. First period, 2-0. Coronado, Solovyov. Second period, oh no, Springfield ties it right back up to make it 2-2. Third period, 3-3. Who is going to be the hero? Game 4, overtime. Is it Matt Tkachuk? Penalty kill. We're able to kill it off, but can Tkachuk end it? Come on, 10 minutes left. Out shooting them 41-38. 7 minutes. 3-3. Game 4. Championship on the line. Who's going to be the hero? And we're going to double overtime. This is going to be over quickly. It's going to be over before the 15-minute mark. Who is it going to be? It's going to be over quickly. And there it is. Matt Tkachuk scores the championship goal. And the Calgary Wranglers are Calder Cup champions thanks to none other than Mr. Matt Tkachuk as he achieves the goal of this series. 16-6, a 4-0 sweep in the finals. Tkachuk with 29 points in 22 games, only 8 goals. It's weird how in the playoffs he doesn't score, he only gets assists. But I'll tell you what, we're going to do one more season where we make Matt Tkachuk, since he's ready to beat the challenge, an absolute superstar, 99 overall, and we're going to give him one NHL player to play with. So be surprised because it's coming up next. In the final year of Matt Tkachuk in the AHL, we're pairing him with none other than the player that we did last time, Connor McDavid, as he's going to be playing on the Condors with a Dylan Holloway. So Tkachuk, McDavid, and Dylan Holloway, what a first line. If they both don't put up 120 plus points, real life, they would probably both put up 200 points. But the way the simulation goes, it never works like that. So Matt Tkachuk, Connor McDavid, show me what you can do. If they can't win a championship, we're marking this as a W challenge to a failed. As expected, the Bakersfield Condors have a great year, 52, 15, and 5. Tkachuk puts up 120 points. McDavid, 118. So both close to the 120 point mark. McDavid, 108 assists. Matt Tkachuk, 94 goals. So I changed the sliders of both these players so that Tkachuk shoots everything. McDavid passes everything. Tkachuk, 500 shots. McDavid, 56 shots. But both of them nonetheless have great years as Tkachuk scores 94 goals, which breaks Connor McDavid's record from last episode. Somehow, as the first seed versus the Colorado Eagles, the Condors are down in round number 1, 3-2. So we're going to have to win 2 straight games or Tkachuk and McDavid will be eliminated in the first round, a 97 and 99 overall. First period, 3-3. Benson scores. We got Malone and Kokiek, or however you pronounce it, 5-4. Tkachuk scores 2 goals, and third period 9-5 as there was a lot of goals in that game. Tkachuk with 4 points. How many points did Connor McDavid have? McDavid, where are you? He had 4 assists, so obviously he does not shoot the puck at all, so you're just going to see him getting assists. There's no way we see him score a goal. But game number 7 on home ice here. Let's not fall in round number 1 with 2 NHL superstars, please and thank you. First period, down 1-0. Second period, 2-1. Third period, 5-2, thank God, as Tkachuk scores 2 goals in this game. 3 stars, Tkachuk, McDavid with the 2 assists. Big 6 hits for Matt Tkachuk as well. But we are off to the second round. In the second round, up 3-1 versus Abbotsford. Let's simulate game number 5, seeing if we can close it out right here. First period, 0-0. Second period, Lecker Mackey scores on Calvin Pickard. And third period, they hold the 1-0 lead as we have 44 shots but cannot break through their goaltender. Moving on to game number 6 here, where we got to fast simulate because we've had better luck doing it that way. Game 6, we win that one in overtime, and we are off to the third round versus the Griffins. Let's simulate 4 straight games, which should be a sweep, but it will not be. 1-2, And okay, 2-1 series lead. Game number 4, make that 3-1, and we'll slow sim this one. Let's see if Tkachuk can get a hat trick here. First period, we got Josh Bailey scoring. Second period, we got a goal from Tkachuk, a second. Okay, so the hat trick is in the cards here. Third period, he does complete the hat trick. Ask and you shall receive once again. Tkachuk 3 goals, McDavid 3 assists, of course. And we are moving all the way to the finals, which I think should be expected at this point with this roster that we have. Who are we going to be playing, though? It is going to be the Checkers again. So they took out Tkachuk once. They are 12-5. We are 12-6. So they've been a little bit better than us. So Tkachuk, this is your chance to get some revenge on the former Checkers as you are up 3-0. And let's close it out here with a nice sweep and continue this dominance. First period, Nemilele scores for the Bakers. Second period, Tkachuk scores 2 goals. Denisenko, who's always been good for us. And third period, Tkachuk cannot complete the hat trick, but 2 shorthanded goals. And just like that, Tkachuk is a 2-time AHL champion, while McDavid wins his first championship in the AHL after a tough year number 1 when we did it. But look at that, Tkachuk, 35 points in 22 games. Let's go take a look at Connor McDavid. Oh, wrong stat here. So we're going to go to player stats. And Matt Tkachuk, 35. McDavid did score 2 goals, 30 points. Dylan Holloway played really well, 14 goals, which is phenomenal. Seth Griffin played really well. Lavoie, of course. But that's going to do it for this video. So Matt Tkachuk gets the job done twice, really just one time. But what player should we do next? As I mentioned, as the video was going on, we've done this challenge with McDavid. It's going to be linked right here. So click on it, check it out, see how he scored his 90 goals. And I'll catch you in the next video. Let me know in the comments below who you want to see next. And have a great day. See ya!